Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ryan Rabarchek with Long Realty Jasper Associates, and this is the final segment of the Home Buyers Academy, opening the door to ownership. In this section, we're going to talk about title and escrow and the final steps in the closing process. When we started out, we looked at financing, what's going to be the best type of financing for your situation, setting up the home search, getting out there looking at properties, getting an idea of the market, writing the offer, negotiating the offer. Now that we're past all the contingencies, everything's been accepted, we're under contract, and now we are in the home stretch to close and take possession of the properties. Completing the purchase, escrow. In Arizona, title and escrow, what they do is one, they hold the money. They're the middle person between the buyer and the seller. So your earnest money and your down payment is with them, the title and escrow company. They hold on to that. Title and escrow also makes sure that all of the paperwork is in order. But when we're looking at the earnest money, we can do check, we can do certified check, we can do wire, but you never want to pay your earnest money in cash. You don't want to walk in the title office with a shoebox full of money and say, here you go. Don't want to do that. They won't accept it. One of those three things. And that's in the contract as well. Escrow company will also, once you get your contract accepted, will ask for your pre-qualification letter. They'll be in contact with your lender. They'll also get a copy of the appraisal. They just want to make sure that it appraised at value. Inspections, they'll make sure that the inspections are complete. They won't get the inspection reports. They don't need to know the BINSR, but they do need to know that you have cleared that contingency. And then they will be, again, in contact with your lender just to know where they are you being the buyer, are in the process of everything. The other thing that they do is what's called a title search. This is very important because the title and escrow company will make sure that, one, the property that you are buying is actually the property that you're buying. But what they do is they look at who owns the property. They make sure that the chain of custody is complete. They make sure that the title is not clouded. They make sure that there's no liens against the property as well. So that could be back taxes, mechanical liens, HOA fines, that kind of stuff there. That you're current on your mortgage, that they're current on the mortgage, that you're not buying a property that could be in default. So they take care of all that. And what they do is they give you title insurance. And that title insurance ensures that what the work that they do is true and accurate to the best of their knowledge, and that there's anything that comes up after closing, you're covered on it. One of the other things too is that when you're completing your home purchase, right before you close on the property, is that you do a final walkthrough with your agent. If your agent's not there, I would have a very serious conversation with that person because they want to ensure that there's no issues with the property. The goal of that is to ensure that the property is in the same condition as when you initially wrote the offer. Now, I've got a number of clients that are out of state, so I'll do that for them, and we'll do a FaceTime tour. That way we can both ensure that everything is good. And then they'll also do the recording, which is the actual closing. So one of the things that's confusing for people, especially first-time buyers, is that recording and closing are two different things. When you go to the title office and you're signing all of the closing documents, the transaction's not done quite yet. The transaction in Arizona is done once it's recorded with the county. Some of the other things too, one you want to talk to your agent with and talk to the title rep with is how do you want to take the property? And what I mean by that is it going to be an individual? Is it going to be joint tenancy? Who are going to be the owners on it? You also want to keep all of your files safe and in a secure place. And all title agencies, I will say 99% of them, will give you copies of everything. You can also get electronic copies of it as well too. And then at closing, your realtor should be there. If your realtor is not at closing, I would say that's a serious red flag. I personally go to every closing that I can go to. If I cannot physically be there, I will call in via Zoom or a phone call, because some of my clients are out of state. They have a mobile notary. The notary could be at their house. So they may have. That's just a sign of a good agent. Settlement statement. So we'll go over a settlement statement in a little bit. I'll actually show you what one looks like. But this is where we make sure everything balances out. It's got a debit side, it's got a credit side on the buyer, on the seller. It shows who's paid what, any credits that have been negotiated, making sure that those are there. It's got the commissions for both, or the compensation for both agents on either side. Make sure that HOA fees balance out, that the taxes are paid and paid appropriately, and that everything is in good order, and that there's no issues post-closing. When you go to your closing, I would always say allow for at least 30 to 60 minutes. This way, it allows for time to answer questions. If there's any issues, they can be resolved there at closing. I also suggest that you don't do a closing on a Friday or day before a holiday. And the reason that is because if there is an issue, then if you're on a Friday, you're running into Saturday and Sunday. So you're gonna have to wait till Monday. Same with a holiday. If you do it the day before a holiday, there's an issue, it can't get resolved. You have now just prolonged the close of escrow that many days, because title and escrow companies are closed on holidays and on the weekends. 10 common problems that we find with title: errors in the public records, liens, illegal deeds, missing heirs, forgeries, undiscovered encumbrances, unknown easements, boundary or survey disputes, common out here in Arizona, an undiscovered will, and false impersonation of the previous owner. So one of the things that we have here in Arizona, specifically Maricopa County, is a lot of title or deed fraud. And so there's precautions that title company does to make sure that the title is true and accurate. But that is the title and escrow, the closing process. You go through it, sign all the forms. Once that's signed, everything is then balanced with the lender. Then once everything is good, funds have been deposited, the escrow company will then go ahead and release the document to be recorded. Once it's recorded, congratulations, you now own the home and you can get the keys. This is the last part of this Buyers Academy. I hope you found value in this. I hope this was beneficial, and you can always reach out. I'm Barczyk with Long Realty, Jasper Associates. Thank you so much.